For sure. So, like, I understand, like, you got into the growing, you dumped your funds out, but, like, what we learned from the good brothers at EYL, right, you have to give something for free before something becomes, like, lucrative.
Right.
Like, when does it start to become, like, lucrative? When do you start making money from this hemp situation? Like,
so for me, the free part was the education. So I'm giving free education. I'm in the trenches. I'm on the streets. I'm on the pavement. So I'm giving dudes game. Like, all right, cool, yo, we got the bud right now, but yo, just keep mine. This hemp, the CBD. Try to get into the door with this. So I'm telling dudes what's what and how to go about it. I'm building up my curriculum. I'm writing books, trying to just figure this out, and then it start getting lucrative when I'm starting processing. That's when it starts getting different. I'm changing the hemp from the flower into the oils. I'm getting that off. I'm selling hemp face masks during the pandemic. I started selling.
Smart.
Yeah, I was selling hemp face masks. I had orders going over to Nigeria, orders going to Colombia. Yeah, I was doing my thing. For real. Because I'm like, nah, there gotta be something, and I can't depend on nobody, because before the pandemic, I'm working construction, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm doing construction management, and when the pandemic hit, they laid me off ASAP, like in March.
So basically, the pandemic sparked for you to jump in the field.
Right. It re-sparked, I should say.
Re-sparked. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Because I got sparked after college. That's really what threw my spark out. Having the background on economics, minor in psychology. Shout out Purchase College. Had a bachelor's degree from there.
Yeah, definitely shout out to Purchase College. Bachelor's gang. I did economics as well.
Right. So going through that background, I'm like, all right, cool. There's some type of systematic money flow that I kind of get into that I can't depend on nobody else with. You feel me? So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm doing the bud. Let me try to get legitimate. Let me LLC. Let me get my, all my paperwork right. And I was just trying to take off from there.
Okay. So fast forwarding a little bit, what changed the shift from the hemp industry to what you doing now? Okay. I noticed you rocking some CWI gear. Let's break that down for the fellas.
Cool. Shout out CWI. That's Cannabis Workforce Initiative. How I get into that is while I'm growing. This is crazy how the whole story runs.
That's nonprofit, by the way, right?
Yeah, that's a nonprofit organization funded by state allocations. So what happened is while I'm growing, I find out I'm having my son mid grow season. So, like I said, I already had in my head, I'm moving down to Georgia. I'm relocating in Georgia. But I'm having my son up in New York. So I come back up to New York. And I got my harvest down there. I got a couple partners that's holding it in storage. And then I get an article written about me being the youngest hemp farm in Westchester.
Oh, that's lit. That's fire right there.
Word, you feel me? So, shout out Yonkers Times. They wrote an article about me. And I guess a young brother, not a young brother, but a gentleman read the newspaper and reached out like, yo, we want you to be on this cannabis advisory board. So I'll be real with y'all. When I heard the first offer, I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm with the feds.
Right.
For real. So I'm like, nah, I'm good. But then I started looking more into it, and I'm seeing the work that they're doing. I'm like, all right, cool, I can work with that. They're doing workforce development. They're doing free education. And I'm like, all right, cool, this might be an opportunity for me to start legitimizing myself and moving forward in my career path, like as a cannabis mogul,
Right.
So, like, yeah, I see it says, like, you hold the title of a Cannabis Initiative Community Engagement Coordinator. Like, what does it comprise of? Like,
right, okay, cool. So that community engagement coordinator, that really come with me, building the bridge with the community and the information that's being provided by my organization. Word. So we making sure that people in the streets, regular people, everyday Joes, could receive that high level education accessibly and for free. That's the ill part. We teach a high level cannabis education for free, and we bringing it to people, everyday people on the streets.
Right.
I'm hitting,
Cause I remember when I got that phone call from you, like, yo, bro, I gotta put you on. It's a lot going on. The cannabis industry. Different rules and regulations. Like, get into like the breakdown of like getting that license to grow and all of that stuff. Man.
Word. So really getting the license, and that's really the number one thing, because that's what changes like your legitimacy. So with that, you got to go through the Office of Cannabis Management, the OCM, and they have the applications that you proceed, and you go through that process. You know, you pay a fee depending on, like, they call this thing social equity.
Okay.
So if you from an affected zip code, or you had any priors dealing with cannabis or whatnot, you might be able to get your fee waived. So you get the fee waived with the application, and then you can have your paperwork go through. But you know, the most important thing, you feel me? Most important thing with the cannabis industry is like you need to make sure you got a good team, making sure you got good attorneys, making sure you got your bookwork good, so good account.
It's deep like that?
Yeah, it's deep like that. It's business.
Can you get into the cannabis business with a felony?
Oh, of course.
Oh, what?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course, the felony's not gonna stop nobody from getting into the cannabis industry.
Okay.
So I got a question. Being as you grow, like, do you prefer growing outdoor or indoor, and what's the difference if you could get into that?
Me, preferably, I like growing outdoor. You know, I like making sure everything is more organically grown, things of that nature. The difference between outdoor and indoor is indoor, you're gonna have more control. You know, you're gonna be able to regulate the temperature, the humidity.
Really dictate how that flower gonna
exactly.
blossom.
Right. You know, the outdoor, you're dealing with a little more varieties, a little more, you know, situations. You got the weather, you got bugs, and certain, you know, precautions. But when you're growing outdoor, you getting better tasting bud.
Yeah, I've heard through my own research that the outdoor bud in like parts of like the West Coast pretty strong, and more people out there prefer it grown outdoors rather than, you know, we from New York, you know, it's kind of like a lot of New Yorkers prefer the indoor bud.
And it's like, funny because
what's your take on that?
That's like, I feel like that's all like the myths of the market and stuff like that, because when you look at it, all of these original growers, they grown outdoor. You know, all of those OG growers from Cali, they grown outdoor, and the only reason they had to grow indoor is because they used to have all of the feds and police watching
come snatching and shit, right?
Exactly. So it's not like they want to grow indoor, it's just that they have to.
They made a TV show out of that.
Yeah, but I ain't gonna front. Like, you ever seen Friday?
Yeah, of course.
He's like, man, this ain't indoor, it smoke like outdoor.
Y'all remember that too? Yeah, facts.
You know, well, it's like, you know, that's just a marketing tool. You know, if that's what you got, you're gonna say, yo, this indoor fire, right?
Yeah,
so you know, that's just how the marketing tools. That's just really how it's getting marketed.
Copy.
So how come, like, so basically, like, the climate definitely determines how fire the outdoor gonna be.
Exactly, for sure. You know, it turns into regional. Like, you know, you could have some equatorial grown buds, so that's like by like the equator. That tropical bud, like from like, you know, the Caribbean, South America, Africa, that fruity tangy bud, things like that.
Yeah.
You don't get that.
That growing shit is serious.
This shit is a science.
You ain't gotta use like hydroponics and that, or is that just for
that's if you want to. You know,
okay.
That's different. That's just a certain type of growing and stuff. There's so many different ways to grow.
So to get that, like, that color, that rainbow looking, you know, that Zah look and all of that. Like,
yeah, what's up with the Zah?
Like, that ain't no outdoor, bro. Like, you can't really, you know?
I feel like, you know, it really come down to the genetics. You know, that the genetics play a good part in the weed too. There's all of these different strains, phenotypes. So making sure you're getting some good genetics that could express whatever you're trying to get. But like I said, with the indoor, you get more control. So you could make the humidity at a certain temperature. So you really expressing the, you know, the features of the flowers and stuff like that. You getting that Zod, you getting that purpley, crystally kind of bud. You feel me?
So that's where they get, like, you know, real crazy with the
none of those
the lineage and all that,
right.
and all that.
But for sure, you know, that's really what it comes down to.